Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Nadisha. Um, you know, I was sitting there and I was like, okay, Lord, what is it that you want me to talk about? Like, I feel like there's so many things that I can talk about right now. And he reminded me of a message that's been brewing, for a few weeks now. So, anyways, he wants me to talk about projection projection. Okay, projection. um so projection is unconsciously taking unwanted emotions or traits you don't like about yourself and attributing them to someone else. Okay, unconsciously taking emotions that you don't like about yourself and putting them onto others. All right. Okay, and how this message came about is a few weeks ago, believe it or not, I was helping my daughter with an essay, right? And she read a book and she had to do an essay, Just Mercy, right? I think the movie's out on Netflix right now. I haven't seen it, but there's a book, there's a movie. Anyways, so we were talking about this guy who was imprisoned because he was wrongfully accused of a murder, right? That he did not commit. So he got thrown into prison for a murder he didn't commit. So as I went into my bathroom, God says, that is how projection feels. That is how projection feels. It feels like you're being, you're paying for a crime you did not commit. And I was like, exactly. That is exactly. Now, this man got thrown into physical prison. When it comes down to projection, it's more of an emotional prison. But either way, emotional abuse and physical abuse is really, actually, studies are showing that emotional abuse, there's more consequences to emotional abuse than physical abuse, believe it or not. So, so projection is being thrown into emotional prison. You know, you're being, so when someone projects, when someone projects onto you, so yeah, basically when someone projects their insecurities onto you, you're basically paying for a crime you didn't commit. All right. You know, people blame you for things you're like, what? No, I don't feel that way. I am not that way. They blame you for things they're not willing to they're not willing to take on. That's their stuff. They're not willing to. It's like people putting their crap onto you. You're like, even God says, give me your burden and I will make it light. And instead of giving their burden to the Lord, they give it to you. You're like, no, I don't even like to carry my own burden. I like to give my burdens to God. So you need to do the same, honey, sir. You need to give God your burdens. Don't put it onto someone else. And yes, and that's what they do. They put their burdens onto you and say, hey, now you pay for it. And you're like, no, thank you. So some of the ways that people project their insecurities onto you is, let me see some examples. People will say, oh, she don't like me. She doesn't like me. She don't like me. You're like, I don't even know you. And even if I do know you, like, what would make you come to that conclusion? You know what I mean? You have not done or said anything to that would mean you don't like the person, but they literally project how they feel about themselves onto you. So when somebody says, oh no, they don't like me, ideally what they're saying is, I don't like myself. I don't like myself. Okay, so because somebody don't like themselves, they project that onto you. Another thing is like if somebody's cheating, okay, this happens in relationships all the time. Somebody's cheating, a spouse is cheating, they don't want to take responsibility for cheating, so they accuse their partner of cheating. Okay, and then that partner is like confused, like, wait, what? No, I'm not cheating. And then they're trying to defend themselves when the person, no, the other partner know that they're just projected. It's the same thing. When people are doing things that are wrong or deceptive, they'll project onto you and say, no, you're doing the wrong thing and you're being deceptive, when all reality it's them. People are walking projection. We live in a world where people are walking projection. I'm telling you, I cannot wait to pay for something that I actually did. See, it's one thing when you do something, even if you're not proud of it, even if like, it's embarrassing or whatever, at least you did it and you're paying for something you did. What doesn't feel right is when you are being accused of something you did not do. That doesn't feel right. As humans, we will pay for the things we do. We really will. Throw us in prison or penalize us for this. But it's when somebody accuses you and say, you do this, and you're this, and you're that. You're like, no, I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight you. I'm not paid for this. This is how you feel about yourself. So anyways, I can see why God would want me to talk about this topic, because most of the world does this. They're walking projection. Most people are walking projection. They just dump how they feel about you, how they feel about themselves onto you. Okay, they see you and they're just like, and you're like, no, okay. And you really need to get to this place of like, is this how I feel? And when you realize that this is not your feelings and this is just how they feel about themselves, it's almost like you need to give it back to them. No, this is how you feel about you, and you need to take responsibility of how you feel about yourself. Okay? And honestly, a manipulative tactic that they do too is like, so when people say, oh, well, they don't like me, she don't like me, he don't like me, right? Ideally, they don't like themselves, right? But what makes it even more manipulative is that they tell others that you don't like them. And you're like, okay, well, here we go. This escalated now. This has escalated now. Okay, they'll tell other people that you don't like them, and it makes you come across as snobbish, right? It makes you come across as like they think they're better than me. They think no. This is you. This is how you feel about yourself. I'm sorry. This is the truth. You feel that way about yourself, okay? Projection is a self-defense mechanism to keep discomfort about oneself at bay. Okay? It's like nobody wants to feel discomfort. Nobody wants to feel uncomfortable. Okay? Nobody, it's like the moment people start feeling uncomfortable, they're like, oh, no. What? Life is filled with discomfort. There's some things that we have to sit with. And even though it doesn't feel comfortable, we still have to sit with it. You know what I mean? So when somebody doesn't want to feel uncomfortable, they just put it on you. Just dump it on you. You're the dumping ground. And it's a no. We have to take responsibility for how we feel. Because when you dump it onto somebody else, ideally you're making them pay for something that they didn't do. And if this is somebody, and if this is you, if you're the person who people love to project on, you know what I'm talking about. And if this is you, the person who is always projecting on someone, you need to face yourself. Face those insecurities, because it's not right. It's not right. Okay? And I've seen it time and time again. You know? People just blame you for everything. You know? No. Oh, she's judging me. He's judging me. Nobody's judging you. You are judging you. You're judging you. You're judging you. You don't like you. You're judging you. You're uncomfortable with you. Everything that you're feeling is you, how you feel about yourself. And you don't get to throw that onto somebody else. Pay for your crimes. Pay for how you feel. Anyways, I'm very passionate about this topic. I actually didn't realize I was this passionate about this topic until now. But yeah, we could totally expound upon this topic. because this is something that is very, very common in our society. People do it unconsciously, people do it consciously. There's people who are just like, no, I'm gonna do this, I'm not taking responsibility for anything. Okay, and you need to understand that the people who project the most, it says it right here, projection makes one feel superior to everyone else because it allows you to overlook your flaws. It makes absolute sense, because if you're not looking within and you're only looking at other people, then you're always going to see flaws in them, and you're never going to see flaws in yourself. And you need to understand, people who project are always judgmental. One of their biggest character trait is they're very judgmental, which makes sense because they're not looking inward. People who look inward are less judgmental because they see their own flaws, and they understand that as human beings, we're all flawed, and we're all we should all try to work on ourselves on a daily basis, and we understand that. So we're less likely to judge you for your flaws because we get it. We get it. Anyways, you know, if this is something that you do and you're aware that this is something you do, you just need to take responsibility for your projection, and just know that it's not okay. It's not okay to do that for somebody else, because you're making them pay for a crime they didn't commit. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. Take care.